Hi, welcome back, and let's discuss what the bankruptcy process is. First, the very first thing that you want to do is you need to call and make an appointment with your bankruptcy attorney. Okay, so what's the bankruptcy attorney going to do? Well, most bankruptcy attorneys would prefer if you could gather up some pertinent information. That would be an idea of what your income is, the people that you might owe money to. Those are all of your creditors, be they your house, your car, your credit card bills, your medical bills, and also your tax returns. So you understand what happened before. So gather up that information, make a consultation with your attorney. And when you get to the attorney's office, they're going to review with you a lot of things. You know, attorneys are not just asking you for a lot of useless information. They're trying to get a general idea of how they can help you. And so they're going to ask you questions. They're going to ask you questions of how much debt you have in general. What is your income? Are you current on your mortgage payment? Do you have a car? Are you current on those payments? They're also going to ask you to put a value on your assets. Nobody's going to take your assets, but it's part of what has to get done. There's a whole series of questions that your bankruptcy attorney is going to ask you. They're all simple, and you'll be able to answer them all. Once your attorney gets all that information and evaluates your case, they're going to tell you how and if they can help you. If they can help you, then they'll move on to the next step, and that'll be preparing your bankruptcy petition, commonly known as your schedules. After those are prepared and you've paid your attorney, the next thing that's going to happen is that they're going to review your paperwork and go over everything, and you're going to sign your paperwork. Once your paperwork is signed, it's going to be submitted to the court. After your paperwork is submitted to the court, 30 to 45 days later, you'll be going to what's called a 341 meeting or a meeting of creditors. This is not a scary meeting, and your attorney will go over each and every one of the questions that the trustee will ask. The trustee, or the person who's taking care of the 341 meeting, is going to ask you a set of required questions. And once those questions are over with, you'll move on to the next step. If you're in a Chapter 7, 60 to 75 days after you go to this 341 meeting, you will receive a discharge notice in the mail. If you're in a Chapter 13, you'll go to the same type of meeting. You'll have the same type of questions answered. The only thing is you're going to be repaying your debts, as we previously discussed the difference between Chapter 7 and Chapter 13. So then, once you do that and you've taken your credit counseling class, because remember, you have to take a credit counseling class before you file your paperwork and one after you file your paperwork. Your payments will begin with your Chapter 13 trustee in a manner that they want you to pay them. And then 3 years later to 5 years later, you too will receive a discharge or forgiveness of all of your debts. And that's the simple process of filing for bankruptcy.